Hey, Merry Christmas everyone. So this is something I've been working on for quite some time. It's an LED board generator. It creates something like this from image input, and it is more than what you might be expecting. It doesn't just create an image with a perforated mask. What it creates will follow the rules of an LED board, and we will see that in this painter demo. So it's a base material. Once you drag and drop it on your layer manager, you will get a blank LED board. So it needs some input, and that input can be of any type, and these parameters will behave differently. I will cover everything about the input in the end of this video. Let's first look at the other parameters, which are more fun to use. So let's start with some color image with its own alpha channel, and you will see something that you might be expecting. You can lower its resolution or increase it, and under the hood it is getting pixelated to the same density as there are LEDs. It was done so that the LEDs are actually following the rules, which is an LED can be of one color at a time in an LED board. If you look under the hood and test it on some input, you can see inside it is getting 32 by 32 squares of a single color each. So this is driving the color output for a color image in this generator. So you will be getting something more like an LED board. After that we have a basic control for the size of LED. And then the move sliders, they move the image in the units of these LEDs, meaning that LEDs can't fade in and fade out, because that's not how LED boards work. It will actually move in a tick 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 fashion. The logical parts that are driving this base material is with the help of Dave from Adobe. He is a genius. Thanks for helping out. Then for artistic purposes we have this offset slider. Till now I haven't observed an LED board with a brick pattern, but it looks cool sometimes, so I included it anyway. So if you change it to 0.5, you will get a brick pattern. Then we have the most important section, emission. Here this parameter, it will work regardless of the input type, and we will see what it means. But with the color input we can blend any color with this with our image. So if you want to blend blue to give it a blue tone, you can do that. And then we have LED off region. So right now the on and off region are driven by the alpha channel of this input, and so does the outline color. Can change the off region with blue color, and we can have outline around the alpha channel of our input image. This is taking alpha channel just because it exists. If it doesn't exist, it won't take it. It will generate it for you. Again, I will show that later. So you can have LED outline color of your choice. Let's disable both of them. We also have the height or depth of LEDs. There are several kinds of LED boards, so I have included all that I could observe. These are the extruded kind of round LEDs, and we can change it to embedded LEDs by simply clicking on embed. Then this slider will work as a depth slider for these LEDs. These grooves you can also manipulate them in the grooves rollout menu. It is just there for the sake of it. I don't think people will be using it much, but it is here. We also have this material rollout menu. We can change the color of this board or the color of the LEDs. By LED color it means the base color of LED, not the emission color. Till now we were seeing the emission color in emission channel. Then we have LEDs roughness and the board roughness, the basic stuff. You can also change the shape of LEDs to rectangle, and when you have rectangle enabled, you can change its aspect ratio, or you can have some LED shape of your own choice. So let's say you want LEDs of this shape, you can have it. Now let's come back to the emission and how it behaves according to the input type. In the beginning I have said that this base material is sensitive to the type of input. So let's remove our color input and change it to this mask type. Seeing that this image is of mask kind, that is the terminology inside this base material alone. For Substance Painter it is simply a Texture. When we import something in a painter and it asks what it is, it was imported as texture. For painter it's a texture, and internally inside this material it got treated as a mask. It's a subcategory for this base material basically, because with masks we have different kinds of parameters. That is why I am saying it's a mask. So with mask we have additional controls. Internally all these things, internally this input is already getting treated as a mask, but for the parameters visibility you need to explicitly tell the parameter that it is a stencil or mask. This is because I didn't found any method for driving visibility of parameters based on logics that are calculated inside the graph. So that is why this explicit control is here, which can override all the automatic detection. So once you change it to mask, you will observe we have more options here. First is colorize, and to demonstrate that better, let's choose some complex mask, something with multiple parts. Let's say this bones and cross. So once you choose random luminance, we'll see that each island inside the input is getting a random luma value. You can blend this color on region with the color of your choice. This blend input with LED on color, it will always be present, so that our artist can always use it with whatever input kind. Then there is this 7 color style, which is pretty popular in LED boards like this one. So it will randomly assign one of those 7 colors to the islands. And then we have simple random colors, for which you can change hue and saturation. And again you can also blend it with whatever color you want for giving your scene a mood. As I mentioned before, this image is getting detected as a mask, and it doesn't have its own alpha channel, but that's alright. You can still have outlines outside or inside it, because the image itself is getting treated as an alpha channel, since it's a mask of black and white values only. Let me turn down displacement tessellation for quick updates. Then we have images that are black and white, and they will be treated slightly differently. So as I imported it, you will notice that it tried to generate its alpha channel based on its values, but that didn't come out right, which is fine. You can change the input type to grayscale and disable the generation of region map. As soon as you click on custom, it will disable the automatically generated region map and ask you to enter a region map. So here you may or may not decide to choose a region map. If you do not choose it, then there is no region map. It is treated without an alpha channel. Again, you can blend it with a color of your choice, and you can't have an outline outside it because the filter doesn't know what its region map is. But if you do input it here, then it will follow that. Let's just do that anyway. Let's say this thing is our region map. You can put it here, and since it is a region map, the LEDs are turning on and off according to that region map, and according to that we have the coverage of outline. Lastly, we have color input. Let's turn off these two and choose something like so it's a color image which doesn't have its alpha channel. Let's turn off the LED coverage outline, put that in main, and let's change the blend to 0. So right now the region map is custom and we don't have anything in it, so we don't have a region map. But as soon as you click on generate, it will cancel out all the blacks or whites that are in the image and keep a rest of the colors inside. So you may or may not want it. In this case, you can see the white regions that are important to this image, but the filter doesn't know that it is important to image. It is just removing everything black, pure black and pure white. So it will be very useful in cases where you just don't want to pre-process your input. So this region map auto generation allows users to just randomly download something from internet and use it with this base material as it is. We have already seen the edge cases where the generate might not be useful and you might need to choose a custom region map. Let's look at the cases where it might be. Oftentimes I have found that on internet we don't get images with their alpha channel. Some are just JPEGs, and oftentimes the prominent part itself doesn't have pure white or pure black values. They are generally in the background, so that can be automatically removed in this base material. I wonder why Painter does this all the time, like just show me the view I was already having. So it can be very convenient in just using things as it is without pre-processing them. Now by default you will find the input type auto, which works most of the time, but sometimes you might need to change some things, like you actually wanted that white part, so you can change it to color and region map to custom, so you can have the white, or maybe you do want that to be converted to alpha and have some outline around it, you can have that. So the thinking behind all these parameters is to maximize the interaction with the application you are working on and reduce the time you might be spending in image editing applications to remove the black background or white backgrounds. You can use this base material inside Maya directly. This image you are seeing right now, it is being driven by the Substance plugin which comes with Maya. Here you can see that here is the input and it is generating all the things and they are getting fed into the very material. I highly recommend using Substance Designer to output the emission map if you just want that, because someone at either Adobe or Autodesk are dumb, and this Substance plugin is super slow in Maya. If you change the frame, it won't instantly change because it has to calculate all these nodes every time. I don't know when they will grow up. Plus, if you want your input to be animated, then again I highly recommend using a Substance player and the time nodes inside Substance Designer to actually output a frame sequence first and then feed that sequence as a texture in Maya. Because if you can technically animate any parameters that I have shown in Maya by just right clicking on a parameter and setting up key, and that will actually animate the thing, but that will definitely freeze up Maya. There is some issue with the plugin implementation. That is it. Thanks for watching.